Dashia D.
And it's JStan.
And welcome back to the In Retrospect podcast, where we look beyond the surface to find understanding.
Well, we will be bringing you laughs, knowledge, and culture.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the convo. All right, so today we have two lovely guests. First is Alex Searles. She's a graphic designer and artist. She has painted a few murals around the Charleston area. And then we have Raquel Smith, I almost said Simone, who is also a creative and mentor in the Charleston area. Justin, you had something to add to that?
I think you summed it up beautifully, Dash.
Okay. Also, I'm going to add Alex's art website in the description below. So check that out if you're interested in any pieces for your space. So today, I wanted us to dig into the topic of pretty privilege, beauty standards, fat phobia, all that good stuff. Because I feel like you just see a lot of it on social media specifically. Like I said in the few episodes ago, I have been on Clubhouse a lot lately. And on the flip side, from seeing the real tense rooms in the hallway, I've also seen some rooms where it's like only baddies invited into this room, and if you aren't a baddie, you're getting kicked out. You can't come to the stage. You can't speak. I've seen rooms about protecting Black women, but then guys will say, well, honestly, girls will call them out and say, y'all protect those that y'all find attractive or would sleep with. So I figured we could have that conversation today. Do you think that people receive any kind of privileges for being pretty?
Pretty or handsome?
Yeah, pretty or handsome, attractive. Yes, sorry, it's inclusive.
I believe so, but then also like I only have my perspective to go off of, so I don't know what everyone's experience is. But from my experience, I don't know if I like the word pretty privilege, because I feel like everyone has their own set of hardships or whatever in their life, and I feel like labeling certain things, it doesn't encompass all of the parameters or all the perspectives that could be included in that thing of pretty privilege. So but I do believe it exists, and I do believe that, you know, I've benefited from it. But then I feel like there is a downside in my experience, because, you know, ever since I've been growing up, my mom has always told me, you can't just be a pretty face. You have to, you know, have something else to offer. And it can be frustrating for me as a businesswoman, because I tend to be in spaces with a lot of men. I've had people literally like talk to me as if I was a baby, grown men, and we got hundreds of dollars on the table here. But I find it to be more frustrating because people don't take me seriously sometimes. And then I have to come like really, really strong, or come on harder than I might have before, because I already know, you know, this person is going to underestimate me because of how I look, versus, you know, knowing that I'm coming in with experience, that I have a brain behind this face.
I definitely believe it exists. Do I feel like I benefit from it? I don't know. I feel like I've always felt it's because of my charismatic nature that like gets me out of trouble, versus a pretty privilege type thing. But that's just me personally.
Yeah, it definitely exists. For instance, I mean, I haven't really experienced anything like you guys have gone through on that level, but I can tell you about an instance that I've been told about. Somebody I used to go to school with, she was telling me about a situation where she went to work at a specific job. I'm not gonna name the job. She went to work at this job, and all the supervisor had her do was just ride around in the truck with her while everybody else was working. And he could buy her lunch, meanwhile everybody else is working. And she said, don't I have something I need to be doing? He was like, oh, nah, you can just ride around with me and we can get something to eat. And it was just like, huh? I'm supposed to be doing a job. You hired me to do a job. Why am I riding around with the supervisor getting food?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
So I'm in agreement with everybody. I do think that it exists. I think that's interesting, Alex, that you pointed out you don't like the term pretty privilege because you feel like it excludes things like hardships that you may be experiencing, basically. But I mean, honestly, I feel like everybody, well, I think most people have some type of privilege. If it's not pretty privilege, if it's not white privilege, if you're educated, that's a privilege, you know? So that, I guess that's how I look at it.
I mean, also though, I also
go
think
ahead.
too that what you call it, as far as like pretty privilege, or if we're gonna, I don't know how y'all want to say it now, or how Alex would love it to be said. But as far as that goes, I mean, as long as you can parlay that into something, then you should be completely fine.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
We have some visitors in the background. That's why we're laughing. If you're not watching. Yeah. I was going to say, I think that pretty privilege is very exclusive, though. I think it could either be your body type. So if you're smaller, then you probably have some form of pretty privilege. If you're curvy, or if you're light skinned. So the closer you are to white, then you're considered prettier, typically, like in the grand scheme of things, not within our own community, but just in, you know, in society.
Yeah, and as a man, if you light skinned or if you brown skinned and you about what, you gotta be what, tall, 6'5", 6'6"? All right, hey, you know, everybody else prerogative. I'm just had to throw it out there because it was a lot of, the reason I'm doing this, Dacia, is because you were saying a lot of things, you know, curvy.
I got you.
They're all fluffy men now, but don't get me wrong. You know, let's just talk about it. You know, and some people do body shame men because it's like, oh no, you ain't got no tape. You got the body of a trash bag. You built like a trash can. It's really deep out here.
Okay?
Yeah, like
I'm not traumatized at all. I know I look good.
Jessica said, look, I got something to say. Let me say something.
Yeah.
I think, you know, for a while we were celebrating lighter skinned women who looked closer to Eurocentric or even ambiguous race women. We celebrate or, you know, believe that those women are more beautiful than, you know, our everyday, like our brown skinned girls, our darker skinned women, you know, the kinkier textures. And then I also think there's an aspect we have to consider, which is people's preference and like what they're attracted to. But I do believe there's a difference between preference and being disrespectful and, you know, excluding a group and due to like just wrong standards of beauty, you know? So like, I don't know if this is wrong, but I prefer darker skinned men. It's just what I like.
Well, it's a preference.
Right, but it would be wrong for a man to say, I prefer lighter skinned women because I believe lighter skinned women are this, that, and the other. And I believe darker skinned women are this, that, and the other. Then that's wrong. But
it's when you make it a stereotype when it becomes an issue. But if that's just your preference, then
and I think,
wrong, you know?
I think people get up, like you see on social media, people get really mad. Oh, you say you only like light skinned women, or you only like dark skinned women. Like, I mean, like, I don't see anything wrong with preferring a chocolatier man. But if I were like, oh, light-skinned men this and light-skinned men that and blah, 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 and that's why I can't be with one, then yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely have a preference without using that as a license to degrade what isn't your preference. Yeah, I think that's just what it comes down to. But I wanted to circle back to Justin's slight rant.
My slight rant. I mean, this is beautiful. We touching on
about, hold on. So I do think that men are body shamed as well. Justin might agree with this next statement, but I feel like women are more forgiving when it comes to looks. That's not to say we're going to date Shrek, but that doesn't like, I feel like, huh? I'm just saying, but I feel like we will let go of some things. I feel like there are guys who don't even look like their type. Like they'll say, she need to be in the gym. She need to be this, this, and this. And meanwhile, you sitting on the couch eating Twinkies. Sir, make that make sense.
They started taking shots.
Whoa. I agree. I feel like, and I think that just comes down to women being held to a higher standard of like appearance than men are sometimes. I think really men hold women to a standard of appearance and things like, you know, what they can bring to the table or whatever. And then women hold men to a standard of, you know, well, do you have a job? What can you provide? Not that I expect a man to provide for me, but there are qualities that I want to have in a man. Because I got my own money, I have my own stuff, but I need you to have yours, okay? Because then what am I gonna do with you? And that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
So okay. That's good. That's great. Now I understand the quality aspect. Could y'all dive into that? Because sometimes when people say they want qualities in a person, some people's qualities turn into physical attributes that this person has to have. Like, oh, I need this person to be 6'8" or taller. And it's just like, listen, you do realize. Anyway, I'm gonna just stop right there. But no, I got nothing to say. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's basically what I want to do. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just saying there's a lot of body shaming as far as like height goes, and it's just like it's crazy because yeah, I'm talking about it. I'm gonna talk about it because it's like, you know, you got people out here that are maybe 5'8", 5'9", 5'10". They're being called short when the average height of a male in America is 5'8". So somebody lower than that is like, well, dang, they're classified as short. Then I must be a midget. No, legally.
That goes both ways. Hold up. That height thing goes both ways though, because I've definitely had men ask me, "How tall are you?" And I tell them 5'8", and they're like, "Oh, because you look tall, sir." How do I look tall? I give off tall energy. I don't know, but right. And then I've seen those little memes on Facebook where it's like, if you're 5'5" and shorter, then you're a princess. If you're 5'7", you're okay, and then you're 5'8" and taller, like you're a man. I've seen that throughout social media. Right. So that height thing is not just from women to men. I feel like it goes both ways. Y'all want somebody who's a little short, petite, cute, and then when they get taller, it's like, oh, that's a little too much. I'm just saying, it exists.
You are deep.
I'm telling you, I'm being serious.
I'm not gonna say you wrong. I'm just saying you're deep. I mean, you cutting straight to the point. And you right. All right. So moving along, my whole thing too, as far as body shaming goes, would you say that, for instance, the scenario that I saw on social media the other day was when you got something that women would consider flirting with a certain male that looks a certain way, and then another male would try to so-called flirt with them, and they would look at that as harassment because of how they look. So what I'm trying to ask here is, have you done that before? Where it's like, oh, you may entertain a certain man because of how he looks. And then the other one is like, okay, he don't look as good as the other one. He need to leave me alone, but he keeps trying. Are you one of those people that could, it's an open question. Are you able to be like, yeah, he's not harassing me or bothering me, but leave me alone, and you want to allow him to flirt with you?
But I feel like that falls under preference again. Like if I am not attracted to you, if I don't know you personality-wise, all I can go off is your face, or like based on what I actually see, because I don't know you to like differentiate anything else. So if I don't have that level of attraction to you, I'm not going to be as flirtatious. First of all, I flirt with anybody. I don't care. I'll do, like, it's fun. It's just something to do. But if I don't have that level of attraction to you, it is. But if I'm not attracted to you, that level of flirtation is not going to go as far. Like, it's going to be, all right, it's been fun, we're done. Or it's going to be, are you cute? Let's keep it going. What's the banter, you know?
Banter.
Banter.
Well, banter.
Oh my goodness.
So JStan, I'll answer your question too. First of all, I just want to make a statement. I have dated what's considered short men before. I have, okay, and just ain't work out. And I am one of those girls who prefer my dude to be taller than me so I can wear my heels, because that's the majority of my shoes. But I have gone out with short people before, and they were great people. It just ain't work out. We have 2 dogs. Okay. So and the other one's out, and he wants to run all over the house right now. But to go off of like what you were saying, like if a guy approaches you, first of all, I'm a businesswoman, not saying in all instances I'm doing business, but I'm always talking to people. I don't know if it comes off as being flirty. I've been told I can be flirtatious. I got a boyfriend right now and I don't be flirting, just put that out there. But I do talk to people. And so like, if someone approaches me, whatever, I'm polite enough to them to like, be like, oh, yeah, you know, this is what I do, this blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And when I was single, if I liked the conversation, you know, if it was cool, I would maybe meet up with them again in a group setting or whatever. And so, but then like, sometimes I'm just not interested at all, like, especially now, because I have a boyfriend, and sometimes dudes just keep trying and they don't get the picture. Like, I don't want to have to be rude to you, but no, I'm not interested.
I feel like, I don't think that I'm a flirty person. I think that I'm nice, but I don't feel like I'm a flirty person. I will say though, it depends on how someone approaches me. JStan has had the pleasure of reading some of my DMs, and some people come at you sideways. So whether I think you're attractive or not, if you approach me and I feel uncomfortable, I'll just keep it like that. I feel uncomfortable, I will politely exit stage left. And that'll be it, whether you're attractive or not.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a flirty person either, Dashia.
Moving on.
I agree with
you. One person that comes to mind with this conversation, because we've talked about body images and things like that, is Lizzo. People have mixed feelings about Lizzo. Some people feel like, oh, it's great, you know, she loves her body, she's embracing herself, she, you know, she can be someone that other girls who's bigger or curvier can look up to. But on the flip side of that, some people feel like we have seen all of Lizzo, too much of Lizzo. And it makes them uncomfortable. So how do you guys feel about the body positivity movement? Like, do you feel like it is helpful or harmful to people?
I'm all here for it. As a fellow thick chick myself, like, girl, show your body. And like, if anybody else got a problem with it, they like, realistically, y'all don't have to see it. Like, yeah, it might pop up, but you can legit keep strolling. You can like find ways to avoid seeing her body. So if you're watching her body, you want to see something in reference to her body. But like, Liz, girl, do you, baby? I'm like, let me show me too. Y'all want to see me? No?
I looked away and they looked back and that's what was happening. All right.
No.
Alex?
Yeah, so I'm definitely about body positivity, and I do think it's important to show that there isn't one way to be beautiful. It doesn't have to look like just the skinny or, you know, slim or slim thick or the built Instagram body, but it can actually be woman with real figures and real
or the
curves.
Dr. Miami body. I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, and I even like with Rihanna's doing with Fenty and in the representation that we're seeing there, I think that's important to have, because you have young women, little girls growing up, and they don't see anybody that looks like them. And you know, people have different shapes. Like, we all come out in different shapes, and that's okay. And so I think it's important, and I think it's great what she's doing, just expressing herself. I think some issues that people have with her, like, I think there was something she wore, it was completely see-through or naked or whatever. Do you? That may not be me, but do you? I do think there is a slight double standard, because there's other, you know, slimmer women who've done the same thing, like be practically naked or whatever. And I think it comes down to people maybe just, I don't know, mind your own business. You're not gonna catch me on Instagram in one string, you know, and so that's not me. You got it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you brought up Rihanna though, because like I'm not a big fan like fashion shows, but I've watched like every last one of her volumes, because there is so much diversity in it, from, you know, like the shades of color to like the sizes. There's one chick that's on the website now that has a, like, I don't want to call it bionic on, but I mean, it's silver. And
yeah,
it's like,
I know what you're talking about.
So, you know, it looks very robotic, but a prosthetic. She has a prosthetic arm that's like titanium type thing. It's like, yo, like you're like legit including everybody, and I love the fact that that's happening.
Yeah, I think beauty is really what we believe it to be, and I think it's so important to continue to normalize different, ways to be beautiful, different standards of beauty, than what this typical Eurocentric, what we've seen for years and years and years. There's beauty everywhere, and I think we should keep on trying to find that and keep on either, if we have the power to represent it, do that, and also explore it more. Like with my artwork, I don't know if you all have seen any of my paintings, but I have one painting, and it's a favorite of my aunt, who is a plus size woman. It's called Thick, and this woman, she is thick now. And it's not like your typical slim waist, really wide, thick, but it has all the rolls, it has everything, the big arms, and I think that's beautiful. That's why I painted it. And so, but I'm rambling now. I'm getting some of this.
Oh no, you good. Nice little plug. Nice little plug. That was smooth.
Shame free. Let's
know what I'm saying? That was seamless. But yeah, it's all about preference. It goes back to preference at the end of the day. Because you do have men that go crazy when Lizzo pops out with that stuff on. They be like, yo, like where's she at? Where y'all at? Like, you do have men out there that go crazy. You also have women that go crazy for that as well when they see her wearing that. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, hold up now. I think that may came off a little wrong, but I mean, like, in a good, positive way. Like, yeah,
what kind of
like good for you, but possibly that too. But yeah, anyway, moving forward.
One more thing I wanted to add. I do want to say, like, when Lizzo started talking about, I think, changing her diet, or when she started working out and people were upset about that, I think there is nothing wrong with her deciding to change her lifestyle and eat healthier or whatever. And I feel like instead of people bashing her for it, they should support her, because she's still a plus size woman. She's still a curvier girl, but she just want to change her lifestyle. And I remember seeing her like complaining about that, like, y'all attacking me for doing this and this, that, and the other, when she's represented them for so long. And then I don't know, I just felt like it was weird that people they were upset that she was doing that.
I feel like the same thing happened to Monique.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Yeah. For all of these years, that's her stand-up material, being a big girl and FD skinny,
right,
like that's how she, right. And so when she's made this entire life, so once she's made this entire life change and she's slimming down, people are like, you're not for us, you don't care about us, you didn't like who you were. That may not be the case. I think that you can love your body at any size, but also recognize that your health matters. So if you are plus size, but you are unhealthy and you choose to work on that, that's your prerogative.
But in addition to that, I feel like there's a stigma in reference to, like, if you big or you thick, you're automatically unhealthy. And I saw, I think something was trending recently in reference to, like, comparing Lizzo to maybe Saweetie, one of them. I don't know who these six are anymore.
You said Saweetie.
Saweetie, yeah.
That BBL? Anyway.
In reference to, like, their level of healthiness, because it was like, Lizzo, she'll be on stage, she'll play the flute, she'll dance, she'll perform, and, like, she got her breath sustainability throughout the entire performance. But then you turn around, you see someone that's like slim thick, if that's what you want to call it. And just like, like you rap one bar or two, and like now you like trying to catch your breath throughout the entire performance. And just because I'm big don't mean that I ain't healthy, or I'm not as healthy as this, that, and person in the third. I play basketball. I mean, I'm gonna get winded halfway through it, but I'm gonna continue this game. So like, I think we gotta like get past the fact that just because I'm big doesn't mean that I'm completely unhealthy.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I agree.
Justin, you said something about preferences, but I guess I was more so asking you, how do you feel about people being, what is wrong with you? How do you
I'm waiting for this question. How do I feel about
people being body positive, like men? Do you feel like men should be a little more positive about their bodies? Because they're selling tank tops like this to kind of suck y'all in now on Instagram. So like, how do you feel about men being a little more positive about the way that you guys are shaped?
Positive about how you shape. I mean, at the end of the day, the reality is this. And people won't get upset. I said it, it's whatever. Everybody's body chemistry is not the same. Some people can go in the gym and their body can get tight and start to have these certain curves and shapes, and you looking right, dang near like somebody that came out of catalog. But then you got some people that can go in the gym and work out forever, as long as they want, and their body will not shape up correctly at all, or it won't move. It'll look like they're not doing anything, but they could be in the best shape in the world. So it's just like one of those things where it's like you can't. It's just is what it is. Some people's situations it's just that. Like a lot of people, it's hard for a lot of people to accept, because when they see you got a friend who eats terrible, but if they put their mind to it, in 2 to 3 months' time, they could be ripped, like cut up, like it's insane. And then you try to do the same thing, and you eat right, you work out right, good, consistently for 2 to 3 months, and your body, you only lose 5 pounds, look exactly the same. Yeah. Same workout, same everything, and nothing changed for you. And then I think that kind of is like one of the root problems with that a lot of people deal with, because even when they try to get on that whole health kick, I would say, and try to get right in a sense, there's really not much they can do. So they just got to be happy with the skin at the end. And that's hard for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, if you have all of these messages telling you that what you look like isn't good enough, then yeah, you might start to internalize that.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people, they work out all the time and nothing changes. It's hard, but I mean, at that point, you just got to be like, I mean, it's what it is. As long as I'm in shape, it's whatever. Like, you can't beat me. That's really what it got to turn into. Like, you can't beat me.
And if you don't really like your body, or you don't feel comfortable in it, I think that you have agency to change that, whatever that means for you. I mean, yeah. We kind of already touched on it, but I wanted to go a little further. How can we start to change the standard of what pretty or handsome looks like?
I think it takes a lot of, I'm gonna say a metanoia term first, work. It takes a lot of like work within yourself to deal with. So if someone, let's say I'm a woman and I'm like, oh, I only like this type of person, or I only like slimmer men because of what? What is it about that statement? Why do you believe that statement? Is that your preference? Is it just preference, or do you believe some about, heavier people that maybe you might need to consider your thought process about that? And so I think like when it comes to lighter skin, with the whole colorism conversation, why is it that you believe lighter skinned women or ambiguous women are more beautiful, more dark? Because usually when you hear men talk about they prefer light skinned women, they're also bashing darker skinned women in the same breath. And it includes a lot of stereotypes about Black women that they like to. So I think it takes a lot of internal work. And you need to like recognize where it is that you're using stereotypes and your perceptions may not be the best and most respectful, and then like work from there. Why do I feel this way? Well, what is it that happened in my life? What experience that I had that made me decide to place this idea about someone onto a whole group of people? And I think that's where it begins. And then I know like I see a lot more representation in the media, on social media. I've always, with my artwork, tried to represent Black women, dark-skinned women, thicker women, curvy women, small women, and just really appreciate women. So like that's my way of trying to celebrate all women. But I think it starts with the individual person and realizing like the way you thinking is kind of messed up.
I agree. Yeah, it's all about what you feed your mind too. Like a lot of people don't realize like everything that you see on a daily basis at one point or another, like you're internalizing that. Like if you sit here and you're on, like for instance, people are constantly on social media. So the first thing you do, you wake up in the morning, let me jump on, say for instance, Instagram. And you see all these people in whatever, shirts off, bikinis, whatever, and you're sitting there thinking like, dang, I need to get right. You say that every day, you look at it every day, eventually it starts to wear down on you. That's why you see like people that have a lot of like assets or everything they want in the world, they'll say it too, like it's hard for them not to compare what they got going on to what they see all the time versus them trying to, like you said, work on themselves from the inside out. That's why it's good to do a hiatus every now and again from stuff like that and just step back you know, and take time. But a lot of people feel like they can't do that because they're on a clock. And then from there, when you do stuff like that, you put all that pressure on yourself, that's when your body, in my experience, your body starts to get bad. Like as far as you start gaining weight, start doing a bunch of craziness, can't fit in your clothes no more. But yeah, I just got really off topic just now. But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to recognize when you get off topic and then come back. Just edit that out, Dacia, or not. Or not.
We might just leave it in for, you know, for giggles, you know. Raquel.
Run the question back again.
How can we start to change what the standard looks like? What's considered pretty or handsome?
Yeah. I pretty much agree with everything that Alex just said. Ultimately internalization, because you can't really change what's pretty for somebody else. You know, what is it? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder or whatever, and you don't behold everybody's eyes. So but you can internalize like why you have these, I guess, biases in reference to what pretty is for you. But as a whole, I don't think there's no real way to like change it as far as society goes, because at the end of the day, I'm going to have what I prefer. I'm going to see that, like taking it somewhere simple, I'm going to think that this couch looks better than that couch because I like the way this couch has this, that, and the third. Same thing for like people. I'm going to think that this guy looks better because he has this, that, and the third, and that attracted me immediately prior to like me getting to know this person. But if you want to like dive deeper in the surface, ultimately, I think the best way to get over this pretty privilege or idea of what pretty is getting to know the individuals that you are encountering. If I meet your personality, well, I can't meet it before I actually meet your vision, whatever. But if I get introduced to your personality, that's going to give me a different mindset of who you are as an individual. And it's been plenty of times where it's like, oh, yo, they cool peeps. Like, and so from that, they've gotten a lot prettier or a lot handsomer or more handsome in my eyes, just because of like how they respond, how they act, how they, their humor, and, you know, all those other personality qualities versus just looks.
But looks are like the first thing that is essentially will get you.
Well, yeah, because that's something that I know.
Okay, no, yeah, I understand. I understand. Like a lot of people are visual.
I'm visual. I wasn't getting defensive in that, but I mean, that was like my response or whatever. That's the only thing I can see. Like, I don't know your personality. So yeah, looks don't get me, but personality definitely changes the way someone looks to me.
So, what's the first thing you look for when you're looking at somebody?
I don't know. It's a whole thing. Like,
what's first?
It's a whole face.
Their face.
Well, I see your face, man. Like if your mouth closed, I can't see your teeth. But if you got a nice smile, that's definitely a plus. If you got, I like the way your eyes are shaped. Not necessarily the color of your eyes, but I like the way your eyes are shaped. That's a plus. I love faux lips. I do like. So it's nice.
So what's the first thing you look at, Alex? Dacia?
Okay, so I don't know. I guess like if I like their face, I like teeth, like clean, white, nice teeth. And then I also look at how someone takes care of themselves and how like they dress, because like hygiene, like your nails clean, your face, your hair done. I like that. I like clean cut looks. Usually that's like my preference. But yeah, Justin, what about you? I got a question. Like you've been asking us a lot of questions.
Whoa.
The height coming at us with what we looking for. I want to know. I have the idea. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like men, maybe more than women, when they decide they're attracted to women, they are looking at looks first. Like they see the looks first. So tell me if I'm right or wrong, and if I'm right, what is it that attracts you to a woman when you look at her, when you just look at her physically, and then maybe some things that might draw you in after you maybe speak to her after looking at her for some time.
Let's hear it.
Why everybody tilting their heads on here? What is going on? But
laughing was the answer though.
Oh yeah. Yes, definitely men are visual. I will agree with that. There is no way around that. I can't speak for every man. Everybody looks at different things. You got some men that'll be like, okay, if her feet are busted, then I can't be with her. Like off rip. Like some men will say like, yeah, so is the toes for me. And it's like, how you gonna see somebody's toes when they got shoes on? But anyway, then you also got, it's a bunch of crazy, it's a lot of weird stuff, like the different preferences, how men go about the visual. But usually the first thing a man will see, well, me personally, I'll speak for me. It's definitely the face per se. Like basically the same thing you said, Alex. Like if you can take care of yourself, it always shows. And my main thing is like, I'm not even gonna say a lie to nobody, since everybody, whoever's listening, you guys are here. I got a nose like a hound. Like I can smell like, you know what I'm saying, like crazy. You can know somebody, people be dirty, man. People be dirty, man. Like I'm like, yo, like, come on now, like.
No, I got that too.
Justin, what you over here smelling?
Baby, what is you doing,
Smell is a big
baby?
thing for me. Like I like,
You're right.
I like a man that smells good. I'd be like, what you got on?
Listen.
I mean, my
Your
boyfriend.
cologne is something else now.
Come on now, like that's one of the things. I was like, if somebody smells bad, like no, baby, what are you doing, baby? Like it's bad off rip.
So you only look at their face and if they smell good.
Yeah, that's usually the opening. Yeah,
That's the opening.
Right.
I usually work from there, and then I go get to know the person from there.
Work from there.
From there, it's just like, all right, Dashia, don't do that. Don't please lift your head up. You dropping it down like this. Please pick your head up. But yeah,
you're gonna say something else.
Oh no, I'm about to stop right now.
No, let's continue because
no.
someone like fat phobia and like body positivity or whatever. Like, so I feel like there's universal pretties, and then there's like you cute for a, and then so yeah, like so let's dive into that. Just so you talking about like face or whatever. Let's go into body or like your you cute for a type personality types. Like where do you go, or like what's cute for you?
Oh Lord, you asked me.
I never say
yeah, like Lisa, like that's what is that not what this is for?
I don't think I have a preference really, but I do know that. Is there something you'd like to say? You
don't have a preference, Justin, you don't have a preference.
I mean, I don't think I have a preference. I mean, but hey,
I think you have a type. I think you have a type, but you might be
okay, hold on. We'll get to the nitty gritty. What kind of type do I have, Dashia? Because you've seen certain people, so I'm just.
I feel like you're okay. I think that you tend to lean more towards people who are very petite, and not just like in shape, but like size in general, like height and size. I would say you are more towards like lighter tone women. What?
Well, you know, he got to get it short because he got an issue of being short, 5'8".
Oh, yeah.
At the type, but we consider that short, so he got to get it short than him.
I'll climb the tree. Don't anybody lie to me now. Nobody lie on this podcast. I climb the tree.
What's the tallest? What's the tallest person that you've been on a date with? Like, how tall were they? The tallest woman you've been on a date with? How tall was she?
They just said back it up.
Right. 6'3"?
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
Y'all sick. Oh my goodness. Everybody, yeah. Y'all taste something good? Is it super around here or something?
I mean, it's surprising. But like I said, I feel like you have a preference, but like Raquel said, you might have people you're like, oh, you're cute for a taller girl. You're cute for a bigger girl. Like, I'm sure you have.
I definitely don't do that. I do know people that do that. And you can have all that, you know what I'm saying? Check off all the check boxes and your personality still be trash. Personality still be trash.
Yeah. I feel like it tends to be those ones though. I feel like it tends to be the people who you think are just the finest things walking. They feel like they don't have to try. Mm-hmm. And so then they end up being a dud. And you're like, okay.
A dud?
A dud. One thing I will say is inclusion. How inclusive are we truly being? Because yes, these people can be plus size, but are they plus size with the right shape? Because 9 times out of 10, when you have plus size models, they wear like a 14, maybe 14, 16, and they have that Coke bottle shape. They have that Coke bottle shape. You don't see anybody in there who's carrying more up here or carrying more down there. They typically
carrying more everywhere.
Yeah, what about the plus size men? Can't fit in the plus size men as well. The plus size men can't fit in a certain clothes. They're just starting to make, you know, it used to be big and tall store. They had to go into get clothes.
Yeah.
So now just, you know, starting to transition to, you know, the sizes that are available for, I'm serious.
I know, that was a thing. Like, that was
really a thing. But now it's just starting to, like you said, inclusion is starting to take place where there's a lot more accessibility to certain brands for people that have shoulders. Ow.
And also one thing I wanted to add, since we've been bringing up dating, is like, if you are a person who becomes discouraged because your type does not like you, basically.
Don't want you. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't going to say it like that, but if they don't really like,
put a little more tact on it.
Yeah, I think that I think you should start being open to people who you may not have been open to. Like for me, I can speak for myself. In high school, I used to be into guys who are more stocky, but stocky guys are not checking for me. And then I was like, well, who likes me? And the people who liked me tend to be more tall and like more on the athletic side. So I was like, okay, cool. This is what we're doing. So don't get discouraged. Like who likes you. And if your preference, I feel like if you're being closed-minded and your preference includes a very small group of people based out of stereotypes, you need to check yourself, because I feel like you're a part of the problem as well.
Stereotypes of preference.
Huh?
Stereotypes.
I think that some people have preferences based on stereotypes. For example, I've had debates with Black men who have told me they don't date Black women because we're ghetto, we're loud, we don't have long hair, they want pretty babies, blah, 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 blah. That's what I mean. So if you have a preference, cool, don't let it be based on stereotypes.
Right.
Did that made sense? And then lastly, yeah, I think like JStan said, take breaks from social media if need be. I mean, that was it. Did anyone else? Oh, go ahead.
But I will say this.
Oh.
If you feel it in your heart and you think you got a shot and you feeling good, you take that shot. I understand what they're just saying, you know, you may not get the attention from the certain preference of people that you like. But hey, you know, sometimes you never know. You may think, oh, dang, they don't want me. You take that shot, that leap of faith. And next, you know, it might actually work out. There are instances of that. So do not be discouraged. But at the same time, yes, reality may set in for you in some cases.
That rejection might hurt though.
Hey man, rejection don't bother.
There are over 4 seasons of the show Catfish for this reason. Don't lead people astray. Like, huh?
I can say I put myself out there. Like in my single times, I put myself out there with guys that hadn't asked me out. So I'm like, I'm just gonna ask them out for some coffee or something. And you know, some worked, most of them didn't work out. But that was just what happened with me. That's all I gotta say about that. So if you're not, if rejection is gonna hurt your self-esteem to the point where, you know, just do what's best for you. I think, you know, it's harder for women sometimes to be the person that asks out. Yeah. And look, I know men say, "Ooh, ask me out, do it." I have done that. I've tried it. Okay. The dude ghosted me after we went on 2 dates.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I don't shoot my shot. I might dribble on the court, but I ain't about to shoot it.
Shoot it, shoot. Do what it do, baby.
I don't shoot my shot at all. I do not want to be rejected. I don't want to reach out to you and you be like, oh, you're nice, thanks. No.
Oh, you just wait for them to come to you, huh?
Yeah, I prefer that. That's not pretty privilege.
What is it?
I prefer to be pursued than to be
I was just about to say that. I prefer to be chased.
So thank you, Raquel and Alex, for joining us for this very vibrant conversation. I have been Dashia D.
And that's been JStan.
Join us every Friday at noon.
And always remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
All right.